where anything is at the moment. It's going to be a matter of maybe finding tracks and trying to guess where animals may be based on where the tracks are, where the tracks are heading. Maybe we'll Hi everybody, and welcome to Wild Earth Safari this afternoon. We're going to try this again, and hopefully you're going to hear me this time. And sadly you've missed a little bit of what I was saying earlier, just as well. I can't repeat it. Well, welcome to our PM Safari. My name is Marc, and I know you got my back and I should be looking at you, but I'm on a bit of a mission. Daniel is on camera, and Herman and Siabonga in final control. We are going to bring you the best we can this afternoon here from Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands. We've been looking for some signs of elephant and decided we're going to just take a trip down to Treehouse Dam, see if there might be one or two down there. Other than that, we'll have to go up Zoe's Road, see if we can find those elephant from this morning. There were a lot of elephant tracks on Philemon's cut line. There were some big bulls walking along the road on Gowrie Main in the opposite direction, some going west, some going east. So there is a bit of elephant activity here today, but in the meantime we're just going to amble along until we see something really worthwhile following in terms of tracks or signs We've just turned off the Spam Road. We're on the southern entrance road to Treehouse Dam. I have a lot of hyena tracks, hippo tracks, and some zebra tracks. So there is a herd of zebra around. We haven't seen some zebra for a while. It'd be nice to see if we can catch up with them. Now, hippo wasn't here this morning. I don't know if these are maybe not hippo tracks from last night as he came past the dam and he went further east. More than likely to Gowrie Dam. Northeast. And this is another hippo that has come back to Treehouse Dam. It's possible. Yeah, hippo are likely stay out a little bit longer in the colder temperatures because they're not affected by the sun as much going into the dry season. Also, dry season, maybe not so much now. Now there's still a lot of good grasses, green grasses. But once we start getting dry, we might find hippo will actually spend a bit of time out of the water during the day as well, just to make up for the bit of grazing they don't manage to fill up with during the night. Well, despite the nice warm afternoon, no one is here at the dam. This dam, at any rate, no one's here yet. Or still might have been here earlier. Franklin complaining. Look, it has a baby. 2 babies, that's what I was doing, trying to call the one youngster out of the tree. Get down. Hello, squirrel. I don't believe it. Don't believe it. Sorry. Humans sometimes astound me. Pardon? No, that was a baby. They're all young knobthorns. It's brain. Sorry, folks. Guys have been along this road chopping trees with machetes. And I understand keeping the branches off of the road for the guests. But when there's a young tree 5 feet off of the road, just the way, it is so upsetting to me. It just turns me so sour when I see this. Sorry, it's heartbreaking for me. I can't stand one branch being cut on a tree, let alone a whole tree. But to take the highbrow species, the species that... We're on Elephant Skull Road. We're going to make our way down to Twin Dams. And then I think we'll make our way back to the west a little bit. Back to Zoe's Road. I was saying earlier when I was cutting out so much that... Count to 10, Marc. I was saying that there was that magnificent elephant bull we had this morning. And I'd really like to find him again, but there's not much chance of that. I mean, there are a few tracks for us to look at. There were some tracks heading west on Gowrie Main, or rather east, sorry, from the west. I don't think it was the same bulls, since they were heading west. There were some tracks on Philemon's cut line, not as fresh, that seemed to be where elephants had scratched around in the sand a lot, throwing sand over themselves. But I don't think that was the same group that we saw this morning. There's a strong likelihood that they've moved from Western Gowrie. They were heading in a direction where the western boundary wasn't very far from them, and they'd crossed the power lines. They were heading up towards Impala Road, Impala Plains, and that's a hop, skip and a jump, not even for an elephant to cross Triple M. So if they were still heading south or west or southwest, they would have crossed the boundary. I started coming back towards the east because when I got onto Gowrie Main, the freshest elephant tracks that I did see were heading east along Gowrie Main. I thought maybe they might have turned in towards Treehouse Dam. They didn't, or if they did, they've left there already. The only other thing we can do now is maybe try Twin Dams, and then from Twin Dams we'll just go east, or rather west again. I think might be an idea. Wow, the water lilies are flowering quite profusely at the moment. Just try and put our nose in here and just have a look along the edge of the dam, see all the water lily flowers. It's quite pretty. Maybe listen for a minute. Such a beautiful scene here at Twin Dams. I love it. Especially because the water never really stretches this far. So it's stretched right into grassland. And so that means the insect activity is still quite intense. Couple of dragonflies buzzing around. Nothing stirring otherwise. So, oh, hornbill. Oh, and there's some ducks. Who were they? White-faced. One of them coming back. Whistling ducks, they call them. Also known as tree ducks, nesting in trees. Very high pitched. Okay. We move, yeah? Siyabonga, the radio doesn't work here. It's not even worth even trying. I'm unfortunately sending a question. Gonna have to wait a little while. But here at Twin Dams, I don't even get it. All I'm getting is a bit of beeping on the radio for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with planets. Today it's just really signals issues. Maybe solar flares and solar radiation and electromagnetic fields, EMF. We are going into a phase now when it is going to be one of its I suppose you could say at its height, at its worst. No, not at its worst, but we don't know what its worst is. But in the next couple of years there's going to be some pretty intense. Oh, fresh crocodile tracks. We saw crocodile tracks this morning, but not as fresh as this. This is a couple of hours old. Now, if I could just try and figure out which way is gone. It looks like back to Treehouse Dam. No. Not. The tracks that we found this morning that were a little bit old are the ones on the right. In fact, maybe we should get off and I can show you. Often I get asked the question, how do you tell the difference between fresh tracks and older tracks? And actually here's a very good example, just in these crocodile tracks on there. And this morning we were here, this morning we saw this crocodile had moved from... I couldn't tell, the tracks were so old I couldn't find his footprints, because the crocodile footprints are not that distinct. But it obviously moved from Baboon Pan to Treehouse Dam, and now it's clear that sometime during the day this croc has made its way back to Baboon Pan. But come and have a look at this. Okay, so we want the camera this side more than it, or at least so that you can see the shadow in the tracks, and that's the important part. When you're looking at tracks, you want to be looking into the sun rather than away from the sun, and the main reason for that is because you want to see where the shadow is falling in the track. Now, these tracks here, with a lot, I mean, there's dove tracks on top of it, but this, what looks like a drag mark, is actually coming this way, but that is the crocodile, as the crocodile was coming to Twin Dams, but some time ago. It's very indistinct, apart from the fact that you can see these are dove tracks, and you can see how it's sort of walking very, very short legs, so the toes are very close together, the feet rather. So there are a lot of dove tracks. Here's a baboon track on top of it. Very indistinct. But then when we look at this track, sorry Daniel, if we look at this track, and this is the crocodile going back to Baboon Pan, you can see almost every little detail of things. Fine, very, very fine lines within the drag mark of the tail. See if we can find. Here's one of his feet. You can just see the front, the toes here. There. And I think the side toe there. Not very easy to make out, but I can make out some of the wrinkles, or rather the scales in this foot over here. Facing that way, of course, facing south. Here you can see some marks where the foot, as is lifted the foot and brought the foot around and put it down again, and then walked, dragged the toes and put his foot down again. Sure. This is a little beetle, and this track is from an antlion. Both the beetle and the antlion are on top of the crocodile. I know that the crocodile was here in the morning, but it was after us, after we were here, so it was sometime maybe 9, 10. The beetle and the antlion probably moving around early afternoon. Big hyena tracks, and just for the sake of it, my tracks. In fact, on top of the crocodile.
You made your mark.
I made my mark. There's a big buffalo that wasn't very happy with me. I have to say my heart's beating a little bit. I was over there, quite far from the vehicle, with a giant of a buffalo looking down his nose at me, puffing and puffing. Can't see this crocodile. I'm not sure, maybe there's a big dam further south that he uses Baboon Pan as a stopover. But this is the smaller of the crocodiles that we've had around. Now just south of here, this is Baboon Pan, just south of here into Little Gowrie is where Karula evidently had a bit of an altercation with her mother Safari last night. There's my buffalo friend. There he is. He's run off into the bush. When I heard him run, I wasn't sure if he was running towards me or away from me. I just heard him huff and puff and run off. He's just... yeah, he's a big old bull. Horns are worn down. I don't know if you can see him. Forward, back. Or maybe this gap. Forward. Okay, well, we won't test his patience anymore. Shocked him enough seeing this big-bellied human walking around. We're going to head west, all the way to Zoe's Road now. Take advantage of the fact that we're probably the only ones out so far. No game drive vehicles yet, I hope. And we'll get to Zoe's Road. And we're going to go north up Zoe's. Obviously the two bulls that were on the road coming east have left the road. I don't know where they are. They didn't go to Treehouse Dam. Thought they might have. There's an animal. An animal. An impala. What's up, Mr. Marla? Greetings, Squire. Looking a bit lean. Very well. Don't quite know where you want to go, do you? Maybe just ousted from his reign over a group of females. Why he's looking so lean. Well, there's a steenbuck. We haven't seen steenbuck most of summer because they've been hiding in the grasses. No input. Steenbuck. We'll be seeing a lot more of the steenbuck in the months to come. It starts drying out and the grasses start falling down, flattening, opening things up a little bit. I'm going to stay in the road until you slow down.
What?
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good, mate. Good.
Good.
How's it going, man? It's fun reverses, so.
Okay.
Sure.
Where you been? To town?
Yeah, I went to Nelspruit today. Yeah,
Hey, no.
some projects.
After last night.
It's a long day. I'm gonna
Cedric Dold from Nkoro. Yeah, it's not a fun thing to have to go to Nelspruit. Town trip. Well, for me it isn't. I got to psych myself up to go to the city. It's quite daunting. Ooh, big snake was here. I'm expecting to see a lot of snake activity in these these warm days, cold nights. They're going to be trying to fatten themselves up, find that last meal to last them through to about August, September, when it might start warming up again. We might still see the odd snake track or even snake during the dry season. They don't really hibernate as much as snakes do or reptiles do in other parts of the world. Our temperatures don't get that low, particularly because our daytime temperatures are very, very high. We can have sometimes difference between 20 degrees Celsius between our morning temperature and our midday, our minimum and maximum temperatures. And the days are warm enough for these reptiles to move around. However, the food availability is another matter. Some of the larger snakes, I think, are going to be capitalizing on the fact that there's probably been a very good breeding season for the rodents this year. I've already seen at night, a number of rodents running around, more so than normal, but that's because the population seems to be booming, and that will invariably happen when you have a good rainy season, a good wet season, where there have been good rains and the grasses have thrown good seed. There's a lot of food for these rodents. They can breed rapidly and multiply. And that will then have its spin-offs too, obviously, the predators that feed on them. And we might see some rodent activity as things start drying out, and a lot of these rodents are going to start dying out. A lot of elephant activity here. Not very fresh, but there's been elephant activity here around the quarry. Big bull, youngsters. But I would say it was yesterday's activity. Oxpeckers just flew up. These are disturbing animals. see anyone. I just heard some oxpeckers chirping. Those elephant tracks are fresh, very, very, very fresh. They've gone over onto the south. 2 bulls, look like fairly large bulls at that. So, anybody wants to contact us, questions at wildearthsafari.tv. It's frustrating for me because these elephant tracks are so fresh, and yet I can't get to see them. We're going to head north now, go up Zoe's Road. Tracks. This could be him coming down the road. Could very well have been him. Some fairly big tracks here. And I'm guessing it's the same elephant that got onto Gari Main and turned to the east. I don't know if it's the very big one though. There were some big bulls with him. A strong possibility that it was him. Excuse me, Dove. Thank you. Well, this is our group of elephants that we were with this morning. They're on top of our tracks. We were here this morning, and the last tracks on this road in front of us were our tire tracks, and these elephants were here. So they would have come through after crossing Boetelo Access Road, crossing the power line. This is where they would have come through to. So much for finding our elephants. Take Rebecca's road. We're going to go back the other way now. Keep the sun behind us. Let's see if we can find some wonderful things. Who knows? Maybe they're all headed south. Maybe if we get back to Philemon's cut line, they might be back there. Who knows? They might have been in some thick bush in the interim. Not copying a thing, Siyabonga. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I know there are questions coming through, but unfortunately I cannot hear a thing on the radio. Even the radio is interfering with my monitor. But no, I'm not able to copy a thing. Maybe I should try it on this radio. Let's see if this is any better. Put my weapon down. Oh, there's a bastard, a Korhan in the road.
3.
Maybe try again, Siyabonga, see if this radio makes any difference. No. No. Can't hear a thing. All I hear is I had a feeling there was something about today. This morning I had this, I don't know, there was like this, but not an uneasy feeling. It's nothing negative. Just that there was something about today that was different. There was a silence. The birds weren't as active. There was just something. I thought it might have been something to do with the cold temperatures this morning. But now I'm starting to think maybe it's something else in the air. Gamma rays, neutrinos, and the likes of protons and neutrons and what are those things called? Stuff they're trying to study, and there are a couple of things in Japan. No, the Japanese are doing an experiment in the Arctic or somewhere where they've drilled like 2 kilometers down into the ice using this powerful hot water drill, so that they can study these particles that come out of space that go through everything. It goes through they particles, neutrinos, I think. Hello, babblers. Hello, Marc babblers. And a couple of drongos. Pardon? They go through everything. They do. They go through our bodies. They go through the planet, basically. And to detect them, there are a couple of experiments that have been set up to detect them. They've got somewhere underground. They've got this pure water, billions, or rather millions of liters of water, with thousands and thousands of little strobe lights and things to try and detect them. Gosh, I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm interested in reading a lot of this stuff, but the finer details, this stage of the game, escape me. But there's another experiment now to detect them in a 2 kilometer, about 2.5 kilometers under an ice shelf, because the ice is so pure that they can actually, that helps. It's got to be a pure substance, pure water, to be able to detect them, to be able to have light bounce off of them or something. I don't know. And then of course you've got CERN, C-E-R-N, the LHC rather, the Large Hadron Collider, where they're trying to make these things to see how space works. Fears of them creating a black hole, which is all nonsense. Yes, I think there are inroads being made into that sort of nanotechnology field that are astounding. I just looked up at the orchid that we have. I mean, we've stopped at this orchid many times. It's not the orchid I want to look at. There's a squirrel up here that doesn't have a tail. There he goes. Gone into that knobthorn now. Lost most of its tail. Don't often see that. One can only wonder how a squirrel loses most of its tail. Can you see it yet? No. It's hiding away. No, I can't see it again. But the tree orchid, we'll have to wait a few months before it flowers again. A couple of nice seed pods there. I'd be interested to see if there's any viable seed in them. Ancelia gigantea metallica, or I think it is subspecies of gigantea, the smaller of the two subspecies, the one having spots on the flowers and the other one not. Leopard tree orchid, giant tree orchid. Any Voyatella stations out here? Juma, I suppose I should call it Juma station. Voyatella come in? Any game drives going out today?
Yeah, Marc, I'm mobile. I'm just coming down South Road. Gary, good luck.
Okay, thanks Lex.
Are you going out?
Yeah, I've been out for about an hour. I've been trying to follow up on those elephant tracks from this morning. There was an incredible bull with them. I wanted to try and find him again, but I think they must have crossed over down south.
Okay. Have you driven this afternoon?
Mostly Treehouse Dam down to Twin Dams and then back to a portion of Zoe's Road to Rebecca's.
Okay, copy, thank you. For you, he's out and we're driving from Facetup. There's a zombie.
Thank you very much. And I can't go to your camp. Fresh starts. Wonderful name. Weaver's Nest. We'll go down to Chelapan. About 2 out of 5. Let's see if we can get a question. Amandla. I would. Okay, let's see if we. It's still very staticky. I wish I knew what to do about this radio issue. No, not working. Sad because what about try channel 1? Let's try channel 1. Siabonga. A little bit better. No. No. I'm not getting a thing. I'm getting. Yeah. I wish I knew what it was. It's got to be something like an EMF, solar flares or something. To have it good one day and then suddenly it's really impossible to understand or to get a message through. It's got to be something like that. There can't be any other reason for it. Nothing has changed. Your handheld won't pick up channel 1 at all. Only the 2 base radios that have been tuned to channel 1. Don't know, maybe you'll have to go back to channel 4. Ah, here we go. Here is an elephant track going east. Monkeys! See monkey do. Hello children. 2 little children. Children monkeys. Where are your mothers? There's one of the moms. They are such pretty little things, but boy can they be naughty. Well, they're primates, so they're opportunistic. And, well, they take advantage of other primates, like us. Because we're the strange kind of primates that have always got more food than we need. We're one of the only primates that stores food the way we do. About a 6-month-old little boy that. Hmm? They're probably feeding on, well, I'm not seeing any seed pods, but they would be in some of the other knobthorns that are. So this year there are a lot of knobthorn seeding. Haven't seen knobthorn seeding for the last 2 years. And before those seed pods get really, really hard, they'll get eaten by the primates. Some of the birds, the parrots, the lories. Seeing things today. You're on, let's go to channel 4, Siyabonga. Okay, copying a little bit better, about 2 out of 5. Maybe if you could just check the antenna at the back of that radio in FC. Check that antenna is not pulling out there. There's got to be something that is that's doing this to our radio signal today. Hippo, zebra, hyena. All from last night. Young giraffe that went up Battalier Road. We'll probably make a trip around that way. Banded mongoose down the riverbed. They're just so shy. Let's see if we can try maybe. We've yet to be able to stop and watch banded mongoose the way we do with dwarf mongoose. This morning we were lucky we had a slender mongoose that sat around for a while. That was unusual. It's quite strange because of all the animals, banded mongoose are one of those animals that become quite accustomed to people. You actually find them in a lot of camps. Back home there's a very big place next door to me that is a big share block system, and they have a very large staff complement, and one of the guys, actually a friend of mine, is the chief mechanic there, and I go and visit him often, going to the staff village. And this troop, this colony, this business of banded mongoose come around quite often when I'm there, and they happily forage around people. Same with the African wildcat, funnily enough. Obviously with a large group of people there's always going to be scraps lying around. But out here in this part of the world, for some reason these banded mongoose are very, very shy. I think I'm dragging a branch. Down the road south, as I say. Follow this all the way north to Buffelshoek Dam. So the elephant that was a Chelapan cut through to here. A lot of hyena tracks. And here is where the zebra have been rolling in the sand. There's the zebra and the giraffe. Just got a few rumps sticking out of the bushes. We're just going to stop here first. I think if we go in there we might move them off. There's the stallion. Hello, Mr. Zebra. Come on out. That one shaking his head now, that looks like the stallion to me. Let's see if we can get a bit closer into them. Better look perhaps. I don't think he's going to like it coming straight towards him. Turn off at a bit of an angle. Hello, Mr. Z. Giraffes moved into some thicker vegetation. They are really striking animals. Smell the wild aniseed I've been crushing driving in here. You can see the giraffe's tail just swishing in the background. I think these are the youngsters that Tara was with yesterday. Coming through the riverbed, I could see their tracks. Looked like they were heading up towards Battalier Road. They must have come across the drainage line onto this side. Maybe we're sitting still, maybe radio will work better if you want to try, Siyabonga. Drive's not the same if I'm not talking to the people, to my peeps. At some point this evening, I'm going to have to come out into the open because they're not going to be tucked away in that bush all evening. Safer for them out in the open at night. They can see danger coming a little better. But for now, tucked away. Oops. Normally works better when you try first gear, Mark. Okay, Mark. They were busy here all day, these giraffe and zebra, up and down this road, using these little open patches, probably during the night, probably open enough for them around these little mud wallows, seasonal pads. Excuse me, Dove, you. Excuse me, Dove. Even that radio is hardly understandable. This doesn't make sense. That the radio gets a better signal and hold it upside down. You think the antenna should be up. Maybe we need to turn those antennas upside down at the back of the car. So we are getting the radio guy in soon. He can help us sort things out. Cool. everybody's taken off for the weekend already. Yeah, oxpeckers. Although they might just be here for the hippo. Buffalo might be here for the buffalo too. Hippo and buffalo. Buffelshoek Dam. Late afternoon. Peaceful setting.
Baby's getting bigger.
Pardon?
Baby's getting big.
I think we might be in for a fairly nice sunset. We're going to make our way up to Cheetah Cut Line and find a spot to see the sun What about hippos, buffaloes, and whoever else is around? If you can't see. That chick. Goose. Which is goose. Quiet goose. Another peaceful moment at one of the dams. Peaceful everywhere this afternoon. It's like everyone's whispering. Maybe Siyabonga can try the radio again. Channel 4. Oh, there's a bronze-winged courser. How about bronze-winged courser? There was a bronze-winged courser. Dwarf mongoose. Da-da-da-da. Too quick. Tricks have we got on the road? Egg. Maybe a croaky franklin. It's a bit small for the other franklins. The other franklins are closer to a chicken-sized egg. But the croaky franklin is the smallest of the franklins. But it's old. It's probably just been kicked out of the grasses. It's obviously hatched a long time ago. There's a lot of dust inside the shell. Quite a thick shell. This just shows how good their calcium diet is. That's one thing that's interesting about it, is that and this shell is actually thicker than a chicken's egg, and if you look at it, it's probably a quarter. Oops. Oops. Well, I dropped it, but it only chipped a little bit. But Yeah. Or the top of a human skull. Old airstrip, well, that's all I need to hear, whatever they're talking about. Something near an old airstrip. There was a report of 5 rhino earlier up near Freystart clearing. Freystart camp. That would maybe be our crash of 5. Gonna look around Quarry Pan, some tracks. It's not so much that I'm looking here at specifically around the pan, it's just that there's a nice junction here with a lot of sand and good chance of finding tracks here. It doesn't really have that much to do with the fact that it is Quarry Pan junction with Quarry Pan Road, Drakensberg Drive, Pipeline Road that goes up to Boundary. We've just come off the road from Buffelshoek Dam up to the Boundary, cheetah cut line. Bound to find something there. At least the sunset. Starting to get a little bit of a pink glow already because there's a bit of cloud in the west, so there's already a little bit of a glow happening. It'll be nice and pretty. Temperature's dropping fast. Hello, warthogs. Stop! Yeah, that's that big boy that we see from time to time up here on Cheetah Cut Line. Sometimes he's relaxed. I think he's got other things on his mind tonight. Running after that female the way he is. Let's head south. It's smoky. I think there are fires already. Not so much bush fires or grass fires, as much as it is maybe these colder nights, the rural areas. Hello, children. It's funny, the adults run away, but the children stay behind. Yo, you left your babies. Little dwarf mongoose. having a game in the late afternoon. Probably just been sunning themselves, but now the sun has gone low enough that they're a little bit fluffed up because it's cooling down. Their heads popping up all over this termite mound. I think I just heard a branch. Make a noise. Maybe it was an elephant making a noise with a branch. Piece of grass in the way of its face. Here comes one of the adults to come and collect it. I think. No, it's going in another hole. They don't always live in the same termite mound, these dwarf mongoose. You will find they'll have several termite mounds that they use, and they'll utilize one for a while, and when they've kind of exhausted their food source around, for example, this termite mound, we might find the same colony further down the road at another termite mound, at one near Central Road Junction. They're actually moving still. They might actually be staying at another termite mound. This might just be a stopover point, because there are a bunch of them running just in front of the tire onto the road, onto the other side of the road. These adults are calling some of these youngsters to come and follow them. There's also an oriole giving off an alarm call to our left somewhere. Helen! Helen! It's a tiny little one. Just crossed the road. What was that?
The head there. Something's chewing something in the grass here.
Yeah. Maybe a big beetle or something that they found. Oh. I pointed at one and had a fit. Chased everybody else away. Okay, good night, children. Be good. Have fun. Bye. Your children out of the road now. Where are your babies? You're supposed to be looking after them for your mother. One mother. Oh look, here's a big grasshopper. One of them will catch it. Only the alpha female and alpha male are the breeders in the dwarf mongoose colony. They suppress the sexual development, I guess you could say, of other adults, males and odd female. And the other adults become nursemaids and babysitters, scouts. Big cloud in the west that the sun has gone behind, and I think it might pop out underneath. It might be very pretty. Siabonga, if you can hear me, could you try the radio, please? Again. Channel 4. getting a thing even. Not even a static or a hiss. Leopard! Big male leopard. Interesting. Could this be Mafufunia? Legs come in.
Sorry?
You happened to do cheetah cut line earlier today.
I did Yari Kata.
Okay, got some tracks of a big male ingwe on cheetah cut line heading north towards Central Road.
Okay. Gonna fall out on it.
I will do. I'm going to try Drakensberg, see if he might have cut through that way. Are you going to head back to Zoe's Road, try and follow up on that other ingwe?
Leaving the 7 and Como cruise camp. What all? Standing up.
7 and Combe, cruise
Yeah,
camp.
Marc, I'm going to stop the phone.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we have some possibility here. Now he's walked up the road. Now I don't know. He didn't walk along Cheetah Cut line up toward even where we were with those mongoose. There were no tracks there. So somewhere he left the road. My guess is somewhere around Central Road. He might have actually gone down Central Road. We need to get back there, so we're going to take Bachelier, or rather Mumba Road, past that Drakensberg driveway. That area. Maybe he's cut through the bush onto Drakensberg Drive around Bachelier Junction. But these tracks are quite fresh, and my guess is it's quite recent. He could have gone up towards Torchwood. I didn't see which side of the road that he left, whether he went east or west off of Cheetah Cut line. You can only guess. Try Drakensberg. I was going to go to Leadwood, to that lovely little open patch for the sunset, but since we have this now, it doesn't matter entirely. Cloud, we've got this open patch of grassland here on Drakensberg Drive. We're going to stop briefly, and then we're going to continue to maybe see if we can find this leopard. This could be one of 3 males. Jordaan, Mafufunyan, who was down south as well. Mafufunyan, he was seen down south. Or Mvula. I think Mvula's tracks are a bit bigger than these though. These tracks are a little bit bigger than Mishu and Induna. I'm thinking. Unless they got full bellies. A cat with a full belly's feet will splay out a little bit more than if it had an empty stomach. So its tracks can look a little bit bigger when they have a full tummy. Let's get onto this open area. Surprised they haven't come and slashed the grasses. This is very much a winter sort of sunset area, because in summer it sets too far south. The other one that's winter, this one is... Oh! That's a nice thing to bump into. we're going to watch the sunset and listen for maybe a leopard calling.
Oh, it's quite amazing.
It is, eh? Almost don't want to talk to spoil it. Hyena. Hello, hyena. Where are you going, hyena? Nose to the air. You're going off because we've got to follow her. If we can. Look back to see if we are following. When a hyena is running, trotting like that, nose to the air, picking up, running straight into where the wind is coming from, running straight into the center of something, and well, cut through. So we're going to go back to Mamba Road and see. We'll probably pick it up again on Cheetah Cut Line. Oh, beautiful sun! Wow. Just a tiny gap between the sun, rather the horizon and the cloud. The sun is coming through. There she is, just coming out on the road up to Cheetah Cut Line. Take me to your leader. Cutting through again. Hyena's moving in a straight line, but it's heading up towards Cheetah Cut Line. Yeah. There she is. Going into Torchwood. As I say, this hyena's taking a straight line. We can't follow it anymore, but my guess is scent of a kill. A couple of squirrels shouting at it. I'm not smelling anything, but then I don't have the nose of a hyena. There she goes. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. I think you slowed down there. Sniffing around the base of a marula tree in there. You can see where the bark is. There's just next to that there, just to the right of this tree in our frame. Let me just switch off there. You can see where a branch has been broken off. Now, I just saw some movement around the base of that tree in the background where there's a trunk of the tree's been broken. I was also thinking that maybe there's a carcass stashed up there somewhere. This leopard could have come from there and left some scraps. Well, it was interesting while it lasted. Let's go find the leopard. So I guess it's quite a way to reverse all the way to the junction. Back on Cheetah Cut line. We'll go all the way to Central Road and I'll see if we can't find somewhere where this leopard might have crossed or left the road. But I'm guessing that walked up this way and maybe took a shortcut. Just the way this hyena took a shortcut. Leopard knows that there's Central Road up ahead and would maybe taken a shortcut through to Central Road, hoping that maybe we can catch up with him. My tire tracks that I went off the road. So this is where the leopard tracks were. Excuse me, hornbills. Thank you. Who? Last station, go again.
I must Julius will be fine as a road track at the end. So that power line
I can hardly copy you. Confirm near the gate. Oh, okay, copy that, thanks. Okay, thanks Andrew. Yeah, I'm onto the cut line at the moment, a little bit far. Okay, I'll try. Lex, come in. Just that there. One print. Just one paw print. Running. Others have been driven over, but still, we're going to take Central Road and west. The rule has been found with the children on Triple M. We are the exact opposite end of the world to them. They're on the western boundary, we're on the eastern boundary. So it can take us a little bit of time to get there. But we knew she was in that area. We found her tracks from Treehouse Dam heading up Zoe's Road back towards Impala Plains, and that's where she is. Very similar place to where we had in Duna the other night. Epic off-road adventure following in Duna. rhino print. He didn't come through onto Drakensberg, so he might. The track that I saw now, we're going to go back to Guaripan. Wax bill's making a noise. He's shouting at me. Leopard is heading more north than west. Now that might get him to Buffelshoek Dam. One thing I haven't smelt for some time now is leopard territorial markings. I think we'll go back up to Buffelshoek cut line via Cheetah cut line. Oops. Come this far north. Not on the cut line at any rate. So he could have cut through it. No, what's that? There his tracks are again. Probably from when we came here earlier, the two warthog were here. It could have been that he cut back out onto the road after being in Torchwood. Let's just have another look again. I think he's on and off the road all the time. Hello, Bet. Here again. Definitely not one of the boys. This leopard is big. Got caught there by the seed pod of a wild foxglove. Andrew, do you copy? Yes, he went near the dam. We could maybe just turn in at Buffelshoek Dam again and have a look if we've got a chance. But that was our most promising lead this afternoon. Take a chance, go via Buffelshoek Dam again. Whoa, sorry. Just in case he did make his way there. We're still in the water. Going to shine lights on them at the moment. They'll be emerging in a little while to go and feed, graze, cover a fair distance. Dry season, they'll cover a lot more ground, kind of take in enough grass. What's that? There he is. Hello, Leopard. Been looking for you. Is that Yambilu? I wonder. Hello, pussycat. You're going to the dam. Oh, that looks like could be Yambilu Jordaan. Spraying. Quite typical that he just disappears into the bush as soon as we came along. Oh, there's no getting in here at all. Very deep, goes straight down. But that was interesting in that we've been looking for him. We finally found him, even if it's for a split second. Now I'm thinking might wait down at the dam. Maybe he's going to go and get some water. So this is the top end of the dam. Now we can try. One ingwe just north of Buffalo's Dam, gone into the drainage line. He's in that thick stuff. It's going to take him a while maybe to get down to the dam. There was a way to get down to this top end of the dam before the summer. Things have become a little bit overgrown now. Loki Boko. Wow. One of those waiting games. He might be waiting for us to move on while we're waiting for him to come down. Oh, he's back up on the road and he's sneaking around us. Just the way he turned off of the road and went down into the bush makes me think it was Jordaan. Well, c'est la vie. Thank you, Mr. Ingwe. Guess it was not to be. Unless he might head up to Buffalo's cut line instead. Maybe he's been at the dam already. He didn't come from Buffalo's cut line. There are no tracks of his on the road here, so I think he was just making his way out onto this road, heading north, and then we found him, so he just went back into the bush. And he was there. So fire break is right here. He might be on the fire break. the other reason why I'm convinced it's Yambilo Jordaan is because this drainage line is kind of his lounging area. He does love this. It's pretty deep here. I don't know if we're gonna lose signal. But we've lost him in this thick stuff on a number of occasions. So he knows how, if he doesn't want to be seen, he just disappears down this gully, this dry riverbed. Puts his head down, waits till the cars are gone by, and then he comes out and carries on with his life. Now, there's the 2 track. Yeah. Just the last chance to try and see if we can see him. This little road that goes into the peninsula of Buffelshoek Dam. Oops. Big one. Time to say goodbye. But say goodbye in a few minutes, a minute or two. Haven't seen much this afternoon. Haven't had the benefit of being able to chat to you, answer your questions. We'll make up for that just for a few minutes. See if I can pick up on oh man. Sorry, little hair. No, I don't think we're going to have much luck. Gone into hiding, I guess. Last chance when we get onto Biffle's a cut line and we'll look both ways and we may be there, but nice to have him back. I don't know where he's been. Far from Karula and the Cubs. Not east, not west. I'm sure he's just stopped somewhere and he's tucked his head in, waiting for us to disappear. Not hearing anything, no alarm calls, there's no bird sound. There were a few hippo calls earlier, so it's been a strangely, oddly quiet day. Might have something to do with planets being in alignment and Friday the 13th and Herman's birthday. Everything's taken a day off. Happy birthday, Herman. My name is Mark. Daniel has been on camera and Siyabonga's been back in final control. Thank you very much for joining me, or joining us, or all of us here at Wild Earth Safari. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.